Hi guys, in this video I'm going to go through the tasks from the textbook Practice IT Book 2 in regards to the database exercises. So I'm going to get you guys to follow these along and do them yourselves. So this series of tutorials just walks you through them. Okay, so this particular one is on page, it doesn't have page numbers. Anyway, it's 8.3, it's called creating a database. So first thing we're going to do is create a database structure. We're going to be using a package called Microsoft Access, which is one of the Office suite applications, so like Excel. So I'm going to go through where to find that first of all. So if you look down in your applications bar, we will see, hopefully you see a Microsoft Office, something like that, and Access is usually at the top, starts with A. Okay, so click on that. I'm going to launch this database, and this is a DB MS database management system, all rolled into one. Okay, so what we want to do is create a blank desktop database. So it's a new database structure like this. So click on that. And one of the things you'll notice is it asks you to put a name for it straight away. Okay, so instead of calling it database 8, if you look at the exercises there, we're going to call it something called Pizza Palace. Okay, so you might want to create a directory and put it in your information management directory. So to do that, you'll need to click on this browse. I'm not going to do it. I've already actually created one here, so I'm going to go back into that. But name it, so call it Pizza Palace, and press create. Okay, and that'll create a structure or basic structure where you can put all your database objects. Okay, so I've done that before, so let's just get into it. So once you've got that, you get this. Actually, what I might do, I will show you from scratch. So if you click on create, so just grab yourself a directory. I use Google Drive for all my stuff, but you would do it in your network drive. Okay, so 10IT, information management, and I've got a subdirectory for this Pizza Palace database. Okay, so click on OK, and it will create slowly a database. You have to click on create. Now it'll gift you into something called datasheet view. Okay, so it goes straight into a table. Now normally with a database you wouldn't start in this view. We would go to a table design. So we were talking about data dictionaries before, so a list of fields and their types. Okay, so now to get to that, in the book it says to open the create, but it works. This view here will toggle between datasheet view, which looks like a table, and design view, which looks like just like the data dictionary type we saw earlier. Anyway, one of the things about Access is every time you exit out an object, so for a table, for example, it'll ask you to save it. So in this exercise, it doesn't actually say what to save it as. I'm just going to call it a main table. Okay. Actually, what you actually should do is use the nomenclature, which is TBL underscore main. Okay, all tables should start with TBL. And underscore is not necessary. I think you can take spaces now, but never used to. But yeah, so table main indicates a table object, and it's the main one there. Okay, so this is the data dictionary style format to how we're going to make our table. I have, so if you look at the next page, it asks you to put in all these field names. So first name, last name, birth date, position, location, hours, and pay rate. I've already done that, so I'm going to stop and go and find the one I've already done and show you what to do. Okay, so you need to type in each field name as per the directions in the exercise, and they all have different data types. So we talked about these briefly the other day. Short text. Okay, these are text fields names. Birth date is going to be a date. Position and location are text fields, just normal characters. Hours would be number. Pay rate is currency. Now, one of the things with this is you need to change down here in the properties of this field should already be on currency, but you need to make it 2 decimal places. Okay, so just click on the drop down box and click on 2. Okay, so that's the design view. So designating your field types. Okay, so normally in a database you do that first, even though read up access, it goes to a table view. So you can toggle that, go back to datasheet view. Now, I've already typed these in. If you've got a blank database, the next direction is to type in all these names, birth dates, etc. So all this data. All right, so normally you'll either, if you're working on a database, you'll have all this data in there, or you'll have someone to type it all in for you, whatever time. Okay, so take some time. It will take you a little bit of time to do this. Fortunately, it's the best. It's not the only way, but it's probably the quickest way to do it. So type it in all yourself. And so have a go at that, and I'll come back and show you what to do with it next. Okay, just a couple of tips for entering data. This is a new record here. So if you click on that, it will start a new record. If you want to go across to the next field, you press Tab. I think you press the arrow key as well, but Tab is a good way of doing it. So when you're typing this in, type a name, Tab, etc. Tab, and go through all that like that. Now, the next thing on the list of tasks to do is the creating a report. Now, if you look in the book, it actually says that it assumes that you've done the exercises from book 1, which is a simpler version of this, and it says if you don't know what a report is, go and revise that. All the report is a nice way of representing or showing the data from a table. Okay, so normally in a database you don't have access to the tables. You look at reports. Outputs from the tables are done in what's called a report. Just like a report is a summary of your school achievements and that sort of thing. Okay, so to set up a report, okay, it says to click on the report icon in the Create tab of the ribbon and save the report under an appropriate name. Okay, so if you go to Create up here, and now here's a report here. Now there's different things here. You can do blank reports, set them up yourself. There's a report wizard, and there's one that will just bring up a very quick basic report of all the data in the table. I'm just going to do that for now. Okay, so you click on report, and it generates something that looks like this. Okay, so it's very similar to the table, except it has some headers. So a good report should always have a title, date and time it's created, and probably a footer. So depending on how many pages it is, it'll have a page number and that sort of thing. So this is a very simple one. It just shows you pretty much all the same records that are in the table in exactly the same order. It's very simple. Okay, and what it asks you to do is to save the report under an appropriate name. Okay, so if you notice this tab has come up and it's just called it the main table, but it's actually got a report icon here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you try to close this, it'll try to say, do you want to save it? Okay, so let's just right click on there, and we're going to save, and we're going to call that report main table data. Okay, so it's just a report on everything that's in the main table. All right, so just save that. Okay, and that will rename that. Notice that now you've got another object in this. This is all your access objects, all the database objects. There's a main table and there's a report, which are actually very similar. Okay, so that's that. What's the next bit? Set the report to list all the fields. We've done a list. So instead of main table, it's going to be called, it says in there, Joe's Pizza Palace's employee details. Okay, so we can change this to Joe's Pizza Palace's all employees. Okay, so it's a better title for our report. Okay, and there's different things you can change about this. We're going to keep it simple for the time being. Current date, it's got that, and that's okay. All right, so the next bit is editing the database. Okay, so 2 new employees have been hired. Return to the employees table and add the following records to the database. Okay, you'll notice you can't actually add anything in a report. All right, so that's not what a report's for. Report's an output device. A main table is where we put in all our new data. Okay, so let's close this. We don't need this open. It's a good habit to close these things when you don't need them. So save the changes. Yeah, I'll just say I don't think I made any changes, but we're going to put these new people in. I'm going to pause it while I do that and come back and then change some other things. This part, editing the database, is all about changing data in there. It's all done through the table. Okay, so I've added these two names to the database. There must be new employees. Okay, now Sarah Jessup has resigned from the company. Delete her from the database. Okay, to do that, Sarah Jessup, we find her name, move on there, and I think delete. We'll delete one record. Okay, once one of the things is if you delete it, it can't be undone. Okay, so be careful with deleting. Marie Tizard's hours to 25. So you can directly edit any of these in Datasheet View in a table. So Tizard, where is it? So 25. It's pretty straightforward. Robin Stajanetsky has moved to Keilor. So Robin Stajanetsky, Keilor, and delivery employees have granted pay rise to $11. Okay, so anyone's got delivery should go to $11. So it's pretty straightforward. Just go in and directly edit those. Okay, so that's it. That's it for database task 1. It's pretty straightforward. Bit of data entry, so a little bit tedious. Now, what I'd like you to do is to under the task here, I need you to save a copy of this table. Okay, so save a screenshot. So if you can use the snipping tool. Okay, so grab the snipping tool. I don't know if you've used this before. It looks like a little, I've got it on the desktop, but so if you go search app snipping tool, it's really useful because you can just select what area you want. So do new, a screenshot of that, save it. Okay, so I'm not going to do it. You can do the saving. Save it under database task 1 and upload it to database task 1 on Simon. And that is all. There'll be another video for task 2.